So, you want to tell better stories in English? Well, the secret isn't just about having a huge vocabulary. It's all about how you handle time. Today, we're going to unlock the Storyteller's Toolkit, the four main past tenses. Trust me, getting these down is the difference between just listing facts and actually painting a picture that pulls your listener right in.
To really show you what I mean, let's just start with a quick question. Take a look at the next three sentences. They look almost the same, but they tell completely different stories. So, how are they different?
Okay, here's the first one. When she arrived, he read a book.
Okay, here's the first one. When she arrived, he read a book. Just think about the timing for a second. It's like her arrival is the trigger, right? She arrives, then he starts reading.
Now, what about this one? When she arrived, he was reading a book. That paints a totally different picture, doesn't it? The scene was already in progress when she walked in.
And finally, we have this. When she arrived, he had read a book. In this version, the action is completely over and done with before she even gets there. Understanding these little but super powerful differences, well, that's our entire goal for today. All right, let's start with the absolute foundation, the most common tool in our whole toolkit, the past simple. The easiest way to think about this one is like taking a quick, simple snapshot of a finished event. How it works is pretty simple. You just add ed to most verbs, or you use that second form you learned. And we use it for two main things. First, for a single action that is totally done, and second, to list off a series of actions, one right after the other, kind of like dominoes falling. If you picture it on a timeline, the past simple is just a single, solid dot. That's it. The action is done, finished, kaput. You finished your homework yesterday. It's a clean, completed event in the past. And here's that second use in action. It's just a sequence of snapshots. Boom, boom, boom. He woke up, then he ate breakfast, then he left. Three separate, finished actions all in a row. Okay, let's move on to our next tool. If the past simple is that snapshot, then the past continuous is like the moving camera. It's the one that sets the scene. It's all about describing the background action. The secret sauce here is the structure. Was or were plus the verb with an ing at the end. And this little formula lets us do some cool stuff, like describe an action that was in progress, show an action that got interrupted, or even talk about two things that were happening at the exact same time. Okay, I absolutely love this visual because it makes it so clear. That long bar represents the ongoing action, we were sleeping, and that sharp vertical line, that's the short, interrupting action in the past simple, the phone rang. The sleeping was already in progress when the phone decided to ring. And here it is. This is that aha moment. On the left, with the past simple, she arrives, then he starts reading. It's a sequence. But on the right, Her arrival happens right in the middle of his reading. He was already deep into his book. See the massive difference? One describes a reaction, the other sets a scene. It's a completely different vibe. All right, so what if you want to get a little fancier? What if you need to tell a story out of chronological order? You need to jump back in time to give a little backstory. For that, we need the past perfect.
The formula is always the same. It's had plus the past participle, that third form of the verb. Its main job is to make it crystal clear that one action in the past happened before another action in the past. It's also awesome for showing the reason something happened.
Seriously, if you remember just one thing about the past perfect, make it this phrase right here. It is the past of the past. It lets you take one step further back from the main timeline of your story. Look at this timeline. I arrived is our main past event. But wait, something happened even before that. She had already left. The past perfect signals to everyone that we're talking about the earlier of the two past events. This is a perfect example of cause and effect. So, why was the road wet? Simple, because it had rained earlier. The raining happened first, and the wet road was the result we saw later. Okay, time for our final and probably most nuanced tool. What if the results of that earlier action doesn't really matter, but the duration does? If you want to put the emphasis on how long something was happening, you're going to need the past perfect continuous. The pattern here is had been plus the verb with ing, and its whole purpose in life is to shine a big spotlight on the duration, the how long, of an activity that was going on before another past event kicked in. And here is the key difference. The past perfect often focuses on the result. The book had been read, it's a completed thing. But the past perfect continuous, it focuses on the process, on the activity of reading itself, whether it got finished or not. This sentence just nails it. Why was I tired? Because of that long, 10-hour process of studying. The focus isn't on whether I finished or passed the test. It's on the duration of the activity that led to me being so exhausted. So there you go. 4 really powerful tools that all work together to help you tell stories about the past that are richer, clearer, and just way more interesting. Let's do a super quick recap of the whole toolkit. So think about it like this. You use the past simple for your main plot points. Those are your snapshots. Then you use the past continuous to paint the background and set the scene. When you need to give some backstory, you jump even further back with the past perfect. And if the length of that backstory is the important part of the story, that's when you pull out the past perfect continuous. Look, at the end of the day, these are not just boring grammar rules. They are your creative tools for becoming a better storyteller. So I've got a challenge for you. Try to combine any 2 of these tenses into one single powerful sentence. Go ahead and post it in the comments. Happy storytelling!